Welcome back to the Gym Office. I'm joined today by Mr. Paul Ehren. Who I recently met at the Elite Sports Nutrition Expo. We had a really good chat, and I thought, based on his knowledge and experience in the industry, that he'd be a great person for everybody out there to hear from. So he kindly agreed to come along. So Paul, just for the guys out there and listening on the podcast, just tell us a bit more about you and your background and why you agreed to come along.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the introduction, Daniel. I started off in the industry probably about 20 years ago now. Where I am at the moment, even at my advanced age, I'm still a competitive bodybuilder. I'm the current NABA South East over 50s champion. I've been fortunate enough to win the British title and represented GB on a number of occasions. So that's all fine as far as the industry is concerned.
Yeah.
I was actually working in the city for about 15, 20 years as the director of a financial services company. Very long story short, got made redundant and had a midlife crisis, I think, and decided not to drive a desk for the rest of the days.
Yeah.
Took part of my redundancy money in 6 months of the life,
Yeah.
went back to uni, got qualified, came out with a bunch of certificates.
Nice.
And thought, I'll probably need to find some clients now.
So it's a good story that, you know, life can begin at 40.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think, to be quite honest, that actually gave me a very good background in where I am now, looking at people's health problems, particularly with regards to stress, which I'm really going to get onto a little bit later.
Yeah.
So from those sort of like humble beginnings, I've sort of worked my way through. I major on physique, strength and fighting sports, as far as that's the sporting side of things. And I know that we're hoping to get a couple of my fighters down at some point in the future.
Definitely.
So I'm looking after a few very good guys in MMA and judo, boxing. And obviously as a physique competitor we do look after a number of physique and strength athletes. But on the other side of things, I'm absolutely passionate about the thing we're going to speak about this morning, which is health in the 21st century.
Yeah.
And the more I look into nutrition, the more that I look into lifestyle, the more I look into functional training, and that's something we've just touched on when we were next door. I think we live in a strange time, a very strange time, and I know we're going to expand on that.
I mean, just on that, I don't know if you saw the news this morning, but it basically said that within 5 minutes of waking up, about 70% of people are already on their phones. And that I think most people now, on average, are not away from their phone for more than 12 minutes.
No, it's a crazy situation. I think the likes of you and me, it's a necessary evil. We run our businesses by our phone and by the information we can sort of obtain from it. I think that it's given us so much as a population, but it's also taken away so much. How many times have you been to a restaurant? I see, particularly when I'm on holiday, you'll see a family group at a restaurant table.
And they're all on their phone.
Everyone's on their phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're texting each other to try and sort of pick the meals.
Yeah.
But no one speaks.
Yeah.
That is what we've lost.
Yeah,
the
communication.
Art of communication.
100%.
And social skills.
Yeah.
And we're losing that. I think that's so important.
Anybody watching this on a phone, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, it is. I've made this point, and I've made this point on YouTube stuff, on Facebook stuff. So you're using the medium in itself to get the point across.
Not to use the thing.
So it's this strange sort of like balance between it. But I say it's such a great tool, but it has cost us so much.
Absolutely.
And
do you think, from a point of view, taking away, the fact that a reliance on them now, do you think from a physical point of view that we're going to see issues down the line with people with RSI or with neck strains or things like that?
I don't think it's necessarily so much the sort of like phones themselves. I think it's the technical age that we live in. I think if you actually went back, how long do you want to go? 50 years, 60 years, and you looked at the average male, probably doing, on the whole, hard labour.
Yeah.
And everyone now wants to sit behind a computer screen and make $1 million by pressing keys. And again, that in itself, it's the balance. It's great in one way, but again, we're losing so much. We don't move.
Yeah, funny enough, somebody was saying that to me about diet the other day. But obviously, a lot of people talk about paleo diets and things like that. So the reason why caveman was fit was not necessarily what he was eating, it was the fact that he was having to go out and forage and hunt what he was eating, and that was what was keeping him fit.
That as well, and also we've touched on stress. If you look at the way that our bodies have developed and the way that caveman actually lived his life, the fight and flight was exactly that.
Yeah.
So he'd have to run out and try and kill the animal, or he's going to go hungry.
Yeah.
Or he's got to fight the saber-toothed tiger. Yeah. And if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, well, it's all over anyway.
Yeah, his dinner.
So we've got this huge cortisol, this huge epinephrine blast, which is going to get him through that, and then everything returns to base levels.
Yeah.
Comes down, sits in his cave with Mrs. Caveman, fire, and relaxes.
Yeah.
What we've got these days, which is not what we're made for physiologically, is not that complete fight and flight. We've got the insidious 24-hour drip, drip, drip stress. Yeah. We get up, we're late, we grab a cup of coffee and a piece of toast for breakfast, we rush for the train's crowded, we get into work, our blood sugar's starting to go down, we've got huge amounts of work to do, we just need something to get the blood sugar up, so we eat a bit of sugary food, and you start to get this spike in blood sugar and insulin levels, which leads to so many of the current problems that we've got, and you've just got this 24-hour stress levels.
Yeah.
And it worries me with children talking about phones these days. Particularly when I was at school, if you had problems at school, they started and finished at the school gates.
Yeah.
These days, Facebook, Instagram, everything else that's actually out there, any sort of bullying can go on.
That's actually been a theme that a few other people have touched upon.
Absolutely, and I think our whole lifestyles at the moment, unless we address them, are really set up for all of the metabolic diseases which we've sort of mentioned in the past. Type 2 diabetes, cancers, all the ones that you sort of like here today are driven by our diet and our lifestyle.
So back to the core, what we want to talk about today then. So in terms of, from your 20 plus years experience, both advising people and also obviously following your own advice to an extent, I guess.
Oh, very much so.
It'd be good just to sort of give us like a bit of a brain dump really over what you've discovered, through both your research and through practical knowledge, and what you think people can do at home and during their lives just to reduce the impact of stress and what else they can be doing to pursue a healthier lifestyle.
There's a couple of things that you actually touched on which I think are absolutely massively important. You mentioned paleo diets.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where everyone, or a lot of people, nutritionists, trainers, live in their own little boxes.
Yeah.
So you've got the paleo aficionados, you've got the keto, you've got the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Things in life, and particularly nutrition and exercise, are not black and white.
No.
They're all shades of grey.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing of all is that we're all individuals.
Yeah.
You can't put your philosophy onto someone else because it may not suit them. That is why I try not to use these online body transformation style advice clinics, because you just tend to run through a cookie cutter type approach with everyone. You've got to sit down like this.
Yeah.
If you were a client with me now, then I'll be spending the next hour and a half actually finding out more about what makes Daniel tick and what makes you.
Yeah.
Then once I understand you,
it might take a bit longer than that.
Once I understand you a little bit better, then I can start applying principles actually to you. There's some fundamental underlying things, but all of us in this room will need a slightly different approach.
There's no one size. I mean, that's our approach as well. There's not a one size fits all, and that for me, what I've discovered is that fitness is a journey, and it's changing all the time, and it's affected by life circumstance.
Oh, very much so.
So whether single, married, kids, job, no job. My colleague Natalia's not here today. She went from being happy to run a 5k that she now runs 200k's, and she doesn't think that's challenging enough. But that's not for everybody.
Athletes are crazy. To go back to the previous point about jobs, family, the way that I try and explain it to people is that, to get them to sort of imagine it, is that we all live in a goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
And the further we can actually push the walls of that goldfish bowl out, the more we can grow as an individual. And the walls of the goldfish bowl could be anything. It could be your family, it could be your lack of money, it could be the job, whatever. Some things you can control, some things you can't. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And you've just got to look at the things that you can control and try and actually move those walls out a little bit further. Where we're talking about athletes, I'm a great believer. Athletes, to pick another sort of glib phrase out of the air, athletes are the canaries in the mine shafts.
Yeah.
Because they are the absolute cutting edge of things. They're doing stuff, athletes and their coaches are doing things that science and medicine hasn't looked at.
Yeah.
And things, unfortunately, can go wrong. If you're at the tip of the spear, then things can sometimes fall out and actually get broken. The lady you're talking about, 200k?
Yeah.
I've come across a lot of endurance athletes who are broken individuals.
Yeah.
And you've got to treat them very sort of carefully. But I suppose the 4 pillars that I'm really looking at on all of this is, really we've touched on sort of most of them. Lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can have a very good lifestyle, you can have a very destructive lifestyle. Nutrition, 100%. It's the old phrase. You can't out-exercise a bad diet.
Yeah.
And that is so true. Nutrition is one of the first things that I will look at with people. And I'll build, even if I'm looking at an athlete, I will build the pyramid. So the first part of that
is getting the diet
it's got to be health.
Yeah.
Because you'll look at some coaches and they're very much performance-based.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that's further up the pyramid. Performance nutrition is a little bit further up.
Yeah.
Health nutrition has got to come first. So Dave Rails from Team Sky, incredible man, incredible team, the things that they've just done. Obviously, just won the Tour de France yet again. And he was the one who coined this phrase, aggregation of marginal gains. Now, the best marginal gain that an athlete can possibly have is good health.
Yeah.
You can't do anything without that.
No.
Even if it comes down to the real basic fundamentals of spending more time in the gym. If you've permanently got upper respiratory tract infections because you're overtraining all the time,
you can't perform.
You can't function sort of properly. So there are times, so for myself as a bodybuilder, and my fighters are similar, you'll run through a 12, 14 week sort of cutting period.
Yeah.
Now, they're your performance based.
And do you think that, for somebody who's not competing, that following a program like that is advisable or inadvisable, or just for general, is it something that can be sustained?
I would start everyone off, it's like, I'm literally getting to know the individual. Right, what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
What are your goals? So, if you're looking at sports, when you've got to look at two sides. You've got the individual and you've got their sport, and you've got to analyse both of those.
Yeah.
So energy systems, for example, that going in sort of too deep. My MMA guy.
Yeah.
You've got 3 5-minute rounds, and therefore you've got to actually tailor all of the energy systems around
that. Yeah.
To take a ridiculous example, you wouldn't train an MMA guy in the same way as you would Mo Farah.
No. Because
obviously totally different. But then you get a little bit deeper. You look at the way the guy fights. Is he on? Does he fight off the back foot? And you can really tailor something individual. If you're looking at the general public, then absolutely you've got to look at that base level of health. What's your diet at the moment? What are you looking to achieve? And the vast majority of people will be, I want to be a bit fitter, I want to be a bit stronger, I want to be a bit healthier, and I want to look a bit better.
Leaner, yeah.
Absolutely. And then you can start tailoring things around that. But it's how far down the rabbit hole do you actually want to go with people? Because, and to be blunt, a lot of it is going to come around how much money have you got to throw at it.
Yeah.
Again, in a perfect
and
way.
time.
So, and time. But for myself, for example, now I have regular blood work done, just as a basic blood MOT.
Yeah.
I've had my DNA tested. I've had a GI map actually done. I've had food intolerance tests done.
Okay.
And that gives you so much information.
Interesting, there was another thing I read the other day about DNA tests, was whether or not we should or shouldn't have them, because if you've got a marker, let's say for cancer, do you then, but it may not happen, obviously it's just a marker, it's not a finality, it's not written in stone. Is that a good or a bad thing to discover that?
I can understand that. I think the majority of the DNA tests are merely sort of like heads up.
Yeah.
And again, to pick another phrase, nature loads the gun, but nurture pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
So you can have these markers, but then you've got the whole epigenetic, generic thing, that what you do with your life and your diet will actually trigger or suppress those particular genes. Yeah. So for argument's sake, I know that my liver detoxification is less than perfect.
Yeah.
So I know, because bodybuilders obviously supplement fairly aggressively, so I know that I've got to major on my liver detox.
Yeah.
So it just gives you a heads up in those ways. It's not a finality, as you say, sort of like whatsoever. But I think they are all really interesting pieces in the jigsaw. But do you have to have them done? No.
Yeah.
I would say a basic blood test would go a long way. So as you're sitting there at the moment, how is your liver, how is your kidney function, how's your blood glucose? And
then, shit.
And we can tailor everything around that. But even without that, you've got Mr. and Mrs. Average, sort of like off the street. To be quite honest, to take it to absolute basic levels, get them eating real food, get them away from takeaways and fast foods, get them eating real food, and cut down their sugar consumption and get them moving. You've got 75% of the way there.
Yeah, 100%.
And then everything else
just
is icing on the cake to a certain extent. How far?
Icing on the sugar-free cake.
Yes. But how far do you actually want to go, as I say, down that particular route?
And so just to kind of summarise, conscious of the time, what would you say, again, from your and you've written pretty extensively for some very well-known magazines as well, and hopefully be featuring in ours too.
Absolutely.
What would your kind of 3 things that you would suggest to somebody listening, either, so it's generically applicable whether you're already an athlete or you're starting your fitness journey today, what would you say for you, from the experience that you've gained, both working with people and from your own personal experience, the 3 key things to perhaps leading a healthier and happier lifestyle?
I would say realising that you are an individual.
Yeah.
And either yourself or with the help of someone like me.
Yeah.
Say that,
yeah, absolutely.
and actually sitting down and analysing where you are at this present time, finding out where you actually want to go, and then addressing the fundamentals of your diet. So we're looking at that health base, leading on to the performance base, and then are you exercising? What's the goal of your exercise? And just really looking at everything that individual, where they are, what they're trying to achieve, and how we're going to tweak things to actually get from A to B.
And at what point within that kind of pyramid, I guess, would you see supplementation playing a role, if any? And how do you, you've alluded to the fact that, from the bodybuilding part of your world, that obviously supplementation has been important or is important. What are the key things that you think, for me, for example, if somebody rang up and said I wanted to buy creatine, they were training once a week, I'd say don't waste your money. If you're training 4 or 5 times a week, then maybe let's have a conversation. But from your point of view, what supplements seem to have worked, and how important do you think they are?
Supplementation is hugely important. If I know that the classic thing you'll probably get from your GP and from a lot of people is that eat a good balanced diet. And you don't need supplementation. Well, you and I both know that is absolute nonsense. If we could actually eat food that we've grown ourselves, and we were eating meat that was reared totally organically, totally free range, then I would sort of go along with that.
Or for the vegans out there, vegan alternatives.
Or vegan alternatives, got it. But we don't. It's as simple as that.
Well, it's time and money and...
It's time, it is money. A lot of quality food is more expensive, absolutely. But you can eat healthily for not a lot of money. Okay, if you're paying $1.99 for a burger, you pretty much know what you're getting. But a pack of 5% lean mince, some green veg, some sweet potatoes, it's not a lot of money.
No.
And that can go a long way. And just with a little bit of knowledge, I will give people sort of like recipe advice. Because I think that, as I said, there's more cookery programs on the TV now than there ever has been. But less people cook. Now, I don't know whether it's they see it as too complicated. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
I think a lot of it, to be fair, is time. I think we've got, one of your big discussion points is about stress and different causes of that. And I think that we've almost got these 24/7 lifestyles now, which people feel that they don't have the time to do food preparation. But obviously, it's about finding that time, isn't it?
What you say there, people don't think they have the time. What are they doing for this time?
Charging their phones.
They've actually got. Yes, exactly. We spoke about the current research about the number of hours that people spend on sort of researching this, that, and the other on their phone, or just faxing their friends, or texting their friends, whatever it might be. You've got time. Believe you me, you haven't got to go to the extremes. I probably spend as much time in the kitchen as I do in the gym.
Really?
But you haven't got to go to those extremes. There's some fairly simple, straightforward things that you can do, and it's going to pay you back so many times over than just getting in another Chinese takeaway or
pizza is my go-to, to be fair.
Exactly, but you can't live on it.
No.
Well, people do, unfortunately. And this is where they actually, really start to fall down. So, as I say, just either yourself or with the help of someone, just having a look at your nutrition, just getting a few sort of like heads up on your nutrition, just speaking to someone about your lifestyle. Quite often we're too close to the problem. Actually chatting it over with someone, someone else can actually see something from outside and just make a few pointers. Exercise, we've spoken about sort of like functional exercise. Well, functional is and whatever you actually
need it
want to do. Absolutely. So again, are you looking to be a top line athlete, or are you just looking to get a bit fitter?
Yeah.
And you can just start to put these little things into place. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
That's a start.
Yeah.
You know, this infamous 8,000, 10,000 steps a day.
Mm.
In itself, you know, is a nonsense, but at least it actually shows a degree of activity.
Yeah.
But then you can sort of like start to educate people what we've got to do. First thing in the morning, go for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
Come back with the dog.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Come back, have a shower, have your breakfast.
Yeah.
You haven't got to go in, if they want the detail of that, you're doing it fasted, you're not getting an insulin response, therefore you're maxing out the lipolysis as far as you can and the fat burning as far as you can. Now, you haven't got to explain the hormonal ins and outs of that to everyone, but some people will want it, some people won't.
Yeah.
So again, know your client. But, you know, if you just get people going out for that walk first thing in the morning, coming back, having a shower, right, what am I going to have for breakfast? Make a few simple ideas about a healthy breakfast, and so on, sort of like throughout the day.
So back to the supplementation, from your point of view, at what point do you think somebody should be considering that, if at all, and if they are?
I think any athlete has got to look at sort of like supplementation.
Yeah.
And then again, it will be very much tailored to that individual.
Yeah.
And again, we all react differently.
Yeah.
There's an absolute classic case. I would imagine that creatine and caffeine are probably two of the best researched ergogenic aids that we've actually got here.
Yeah.
Now, I would use caffeine all day long as a stimulant, and again, that is gene related on how we metabolise it.
Absolutely.
And again, that would be a good heads up for people. Yeah. Because some people get a very quick rush, some people it will be a smaller thing.
Yeah.
So the timing of the caffeine intake, as I say, that can be tweaked. But creatine, it works wonderfully for some people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
And for some people, it will hold extra water weight on them. So there's a classic case where a coach was working with a team of elite cyclists. Yeah. Now, you can use creatine even in an endurance sport.
Absolutely.
If you've got periods of high intensity work, you can still use creatine within that to aid that.
Well, my philosophy on most nutrition is that, or supplementation, it's about the goal. It's gone back to your point. If you're an endurance athlete, within any endurance sport, there'll be a sprint element to it, and that's when that anaerobic cycle on creatine becomes important.
Yep.
But obviously they're not using it all the time. But as part of their training, I was reading about training the other day for elite cyclists. A lot of it is big power lifts. It's squats, it's deadlifts, and so on. And that, so as part of their training regime,
very much so.
Creatine is going to be crucially important. Maybe less so on the day of the race. And I think it's about the timing of that. So when do you take it in the cycle? How do you take it? How often do you take it? And then when do you cycle off of it? So
very much so. And again, that's a matter of knowing your athlete. As I say, some of the people that you would never think, some of the other endurance athletes, Jonathan Edwards, for example, had some crazy lifts that he was actually doing. But to look at him, you know, strength is not the immediate thing that you would actually come out. But again, if you analyse the sport, the power off of sort of like one leg that those triple jumpers are actually generating is crazy. Yeah. And the wattage output that the Tour de France cyclists actually put. Yeah. So, absolutely, I'm with you on that with creatine. Yeah, so you've got to know when to use it and how to use it. You've got all of the basics. The multi-minerals are always a standby, but again, you've got to source them from a good source. Yourselves, obviously, you've won multiple awards. You're working with some very serious athletes. You know, you've got a quality product base.
But how? I mean, obviously, there's so much product out there. What would you say? You know, and a lot of it is marketing BS. How do you? I mean, what would your advice be to somebody, you know, looking to, you know, whether it's a multivitamin or a creatine product or whatever? What would you say is the key things to look for?
I think you've got to take advice.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, because as you say, marketing rules absolutely everything. Yeah. And if you can't expect the average person on the street to be getting their heads around bioavailability of certain things, but you know as well as I do, without mentioning sort of like brand names, you can go to a supermarket and pick up a multivitamin mineral for maybe half the price or a fraction of the price that you might be selling it for, but what you're buying is simply not being absorbed. Yeah. And we're not what we eat, we are what we absorb.
Yes, absolutely.
So without actually taking advice on these things, and saying what should I be taking, then it's a minefield. Yeah. So for the average person out there, they probably do go to Tesco's and Sainsbury's and sort of like pick up their supplements. But it's all about, no matter what in nutrition and health, it's about informed choices. Yeah. And speaking to guys like you, speaking to guys like me, hopefully we can actually try and put them on the right track.
Yeah. And so it's really education is the key.
Very much education. Yeah. But there is so much information actually out there in the form of education, which is actually pure marketing.
Yeah, and so, it is understanding, navigating that.
So trying to pick your way through that minefield, foods are another absolute classic example. Now that the whole marketing thing is sort of starting to get its head around the fact that sugar might actually be bad, now everything all of a sudden is low sugar. Yeah. You wind the clock back 12 months and everything was low fat. And you know as well as I do that if you read low fat in it, it probably meant high sugar. Yeah. Now they're getting their heads around that and everything is being labelled low sugar. Yeah. Probably
a little bit high fat.
With the fact that the fat, to be honest, I'm not overly concerned about the fat sort of like levels, but it's what artificial sweeteners are they actually sort of putting in there. So
and there's side effects.
Absolutely. Yeah. So people who want to sell you things are very, very clever. Yeah. So on supplementation, I would be looking at, again, I would be building that pyramid up, and I was looking at sort of like basic health. You know, you've got some antioxidants in your range. You've got multivitamins, sort of like minerals. I would be looking to actually build my health base up. Firstly from diet, secondly from supplementation. Then I'm going on to the next stage of the pyramid. Now I'm looking at something like performance. Yeah. That is where your ergogenic aid starts to come in. Whey protein. Then if you like whey, or again, if you're that way inclined, a vegan alternative, then make sure you're getting sufficient protein in. But again, this is where blood tests come in very handy. Yeah. If you've got compromised kidney function, I don't really want to be putting you on a high protein diet. So once again, this is getting to know your client. And it's just like education for you as a client and as me as a practitioner in getting to know you, so I can actually prescribe the best things. And then, you know, we'll gradually sort of like move up the chain. And, you know, you've got a great range of supplements there, and it's just a matter of picking what is suitable. And also, people have got a habit of using sort of scattergun approach when they're buying the supplements. Right, I'm going to buy some glutamine, some whey protein, some branched chain aminos, and some creatine, and I'm going to take all of those. And things start to improve slightly. Well, what's worked?
Yeah, it's about it's like when you're training, get the basics right, and then start layering on top of that.
Absolutely. So again, and probably you ask the vast majority of people, why are you taking creatine? I'd guess, I'm not sure what your estimate would be. I'd probably say 85-90% of people haven't got a clue why they're taking it. It makes me stronger. Do you know why? Gluten. Why are you taking gluten? So again, it's just a little bit of education with people. Right, this is why you're taking it, and this is what I'm hoping it will actually do for you.
So, just to the other interesting thing, obviously, as a senior athlete, do you think that age is a restriction on your fitness, or do you think you can cut? You know, we've got ambassadors in their 90s, you know, to me, they're actually probably more inspirational in some respects than the younger person, because when you're young, you've got energy and time and so on. But for people out there perhaps 40 plus, and I'm well into that category myself, do you think that you can still attain a good physique and good health having not perhaps done anything previous to that?
Without a shadow of a doubt, you can always make improvements.
Yeah.
I didn't start my competitive bodybuilding career until I was 40.
Okay.
I didn't start winning titles until I was 50.
Okay.
I'm now 60.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we're going to carry pushing that forward.
Yeah.
So you've got to.
And do you find that, whether it's the bodybuilding or something else, that's added life to your years? Do you feel that your love for life, your enjoyment of life is greater as a result of your fitness and your pursuit of this?
Age is inevitable.
Yeah.
Growing old is not.
Yeah.
I treat aging as a disease.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that, okay, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
Damn well slow it down.
Yeah.
And I think that everything that we've spoken about, again, we do change as we get older.
Yeah.
Obviously we do. And we've got to actually modify our diet and our training and our nutrition accordingly. Again, you've got to know what you're doing. So one classic example. As we're starting to get older, we become anabolically resistant.
Yeah.
And without getting too deep into it, we could spend a whole sort of podcast or something just talking about this. But to trigger the hypertrophy effect, a lot of the branched chain amino, particularly lysine, is the one, or leucine rather. Leucine is the one that we're actually looking at to trigger those cellular pathways.
Yeah.
As we get older, we actually need more. We need about twice as much leucine as we did when.
Well, it's about like taking it to the nth degree. It's obviously about sarcopenia and things like that.
Absolutely. Now that is where you're actually starting to actually really make a difference. Again, it doesn't matter how old you are, but by addressing your diet and by moving, you're actually helping people. As you say, kicking back on sarcopenia. How many things do you actually want to sort of like look at as we start to get older? All the things we've already spoken about: certain cancers, type 2 diabetes, obesity, dementia, huge at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, you're not telling me that that isn't lifestyle and nutritionally based. Movement, sarcopenia, once again. I was reading something just the other day that obesity and sarcopenia are quite often sort of linked. You get people going with the two things. Now, if you get an older person who is suffering from that, now a bit of muscle loss is inevitable as you start to get older, but again, minimising that, keeping people active, keeping people moving as they're actually getting older. How many times have you seen people, when we're talking dementia, going into a home and then rapidly declining? So again, it's about people that you're surrounding yourself with. Surrounding yourself with people like yourselves, positive, upfront, upbeat people. You don't want to be surrounding yourself with soul vampires. People who are going to leech the life out of you. And if you surround yourself with these people, you drag yourself down to a certain level. And physically, again, how many older people have you seen? They're unsteady on their feet, they have a fall, they break a hip, they fracture a wrist, and that's the beginning of the end. If you can actually keep the elderly population thinking clearer and moving better, you will add years to their life.
It's about adding life to your years.
And not only to their lifespan, but their health span. Now, I want to live to about 250, but I also want to be healthy. I don't want to be sitting here at 90, dribbling into my beard, and having no quality of life whatsoever. And I suppose it's an inevitable fact of getting older. You do start to think in these ways. And there's so much research out there about sort of like dementia. Again, we could spend a whole podcast talking about it. but so much is driven by the pharmaceutical companies, who don't really want to know about exercise, and they don't really want to know about nutrition.
I think, well, thank you so much for coming in. I think what we're going to do is put this old man to the test on the famous boxing machine and see if he can be our first septuagenarian chaser to set a new record here. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. I'm sorry I speak a bit too much, but when you start eating the buttons.
Let's now you've got a new button here. So I'll give you a couple of warm-ups. That's brilliant, Paul. Really, very informative. With Biosynergy, you can make it happen.